What up, everybody? Check, check, mic check. We got some microphone action here. We're live here. Claims Recruiter office hours, Tuesday, January 27th. Thanks so much for joining. Let's see. Morning, everybody. Trying to make this chat work. Say something. See if this works. What's going on? Oh, let's see. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties here on a Tuesday morning. We'll get through it, though. There we go. Not connected. Just gonna vibe out while we figure this out. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Something's going on. That's okay. We'll make it work. While I am getting this chat out, apparently this big winter storm, I don't know, apparently there's a big winter storm out here in Portland. It was sunny skies and 50 degrees all weekend. Was it cold where you were at? Come on, chat. Well, see if this works. Check, check, check. Enable channels. What is going? Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna make this work, and if not, we're gonna power through it without chat, which would be really lame. Let's see here. Can't post. Just have to do this the old-fashioned way. Sorry, y'all. Give me one quick second while I try and make this work. And if not, just run it. One more time. No chat today. Well, I can still see the chat. You're not going to be able to see it on my screen for whatever reason. We're having some technical difficulties today, but fear not, the show will go on. This is the Claims Recruiter Office Hours, episode number 5. Got a little upgrade in the little studio. Got a little LED light vibe. I'm going to get a little LED sign right here. I don't know what we're gonna put. We're gonna put something there. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna look sweet. We're gonna get something up there too. But working on the vibe here in the studio out here live from Portland, Oregon. Yeah. So Winter Storm Fern. Let's talk about Winter Storm Fern. I want to hear if anyone's deployed, if anybody got deployment calls, if anyone got standby calls, if anyone's seeing claims, if anyone It's getting some freeze claims. Anyone's desk is blowing up. It's the first major event of 2026. I would say, I'm guessing we're going to start to see some claims from that, and it's an important just a reminder here for all of us in the business. Why do we do what we do? Our goal is to help people. Should be to help people. That's my goal, is to help people in a time of need. So a lot of people out there, frozen pipes, water, a lot of people still without power. As claims adjusters, we get to be sometimes the first person that they get to talk to in terms of rebuilding whatever might be broken in their life. Broken pipes, water everywhere, contents, all that stuff. And so shout out to all the claims adjusters out there working the claims right now. It's important work that we do, helping people put their lives back together in a time of need. Good coffee. Just fix it. Let's try this. Still no chat. That's okay. We're just gonna keep rocking. I can see if you comment. You're not gonna be able to see it on my screen or your screen today. That's okay. We're just gonna keep rocking through it. That's okay. Happy Tuesday again, everybody. This is a Claims Recruiter Office Hours. Whole goal of this live stream podcast, whatever we want to call it, is to help 100 people find jobs in the year 2026. We're calling it the Road to 100. It's this sign right here, the Road to 100. It's my goal in 2026, help 100 people get claimed or get jobs in the claims industry. And it's all starting right now with some of these deployments popping up, some work popping up, assignments. So today, got some fun things on the horizon. We're going to go through the 10 things that I would do if I was starting my career as a claims adjuster in 2026. Never handled a claim in my life before. I do have my adjuster's license. I've been recruiting in the claims industry for almost 10 years, so I do think that I have a valuable perspective on what it takes to make it in the claims world, but I also want to hear from you. Again, some technical difficulties here on the stream. You're not going to be able to see your chat pop up for whatever reason, but I can still see it. You'll be able to see it on LinkedIn in the comment section there, or if you're on Facebook in the comment section there, or if you're on YouTube in the comment section on YouTube. And I think that might be why it's messed up. Something with YouTube. I'm trying to go live on YouTube. Apparently it's not working great, but that's okay. So, first thing, I want to hear from you if you're starting to see some claims, if you're starting to get calls, if you're starting to get deployment offers for some of these claims coming in from Winter Storm Fern. Supposedly there's a big winter event. Again, I know nothing about this since it's 50 degrees and sunny here in Portland. Beautiful day on the West Coast. But my friends in the Midwest, some of my family in the Midwest, people in Texas telling me apparently it's really cold. Michigan, saw it was very cold. Some wind. Tornadoes in Alabama. It's been kind of an interesting January week here, which is good news for insurance adjusters. If you rely on claims for your income, they're starting to trickle in. First things first, it's the last time I'm going to talk about this. It is the Rising Insurance Stars mentorship program. The deadline to apply for the mentorship program is February 1st. Go to Rise, go to the website, join for free. It's an incredible organization that helps insurance professionals level up in their careers, and this is just one of the awesome programs that they have. Is the mentorship program. Basically how this works, you apply. If you're accepted into the program, they match you with someone in the insurance industry that you do a formal 3-month mentorship program with. And then after 3 months, you get to decide if you want to continue on or kind of how you want to handle that. A lot of people that I know that have done this program have continued on, become great friends, have great mentors, match with great people, and continue long-term relationships with their mentors. But it's a great way to kind of level up in your career. I know I've had some amazing mentors in my career. Shout out Tina, shout out Lanny, shout out Joanne, shout out Joe and Dan. I've had some amazing people in my career that have helped me become successful, and then I think everybody has. And so this is just one way that you can do that. Totally free, incredible organization. Shout out Rise. So this is the last time I'll talk about that because the deadline is next week. So I think that's what, Sunday, February 1st. Yeah, I think that's Sunday. So awesome week next week. Got this. Got Groundhog Day, February 2nd. Shout out Phil. We want 6 more weeks of winter. I know you guys in the Midwest don't want more winter. I want more winter. I want some winter. I haven't seen winter yet. I'm trying to go skiing. It has been abysmal out here. Please send winter to Mount Hood. We'll take all your snow. I want to go skiing really bad. So without further ado, let's rock. Turn off this music and let's get to it. So, as promised, here are the 10 things that I would do as an independent insurance adjuster in 2026 if I was starting my career today, first day, day one. If I was starting my career, what are 10 things that I would do? This is going to be geared towards property adjusters. Okay, there's all kinds of different ways you can do this, right? You can be an auto adjuster, you can be a desk adjuster, you can be a commercial property adjuster, you can be a casualty adjuster. You can be a workers' comp adjuster. There's all kinds of different ways that you can go start your career. This is one of those ways. Independent adjusting is a very specific type of work for a very specific type of person. It's not for everybody. It's an incredible career path for people that choose to do it. So I'm going to talk about independent adjusting, 10 things that I would do. Before I get into that, what exactly is independent adjusting? So most of us, when we think of jobs, you go to a job website, you apply for a job, you get the job, you get trained, you have, a supervisor, a boss, and you have a workload, and you do that. Independent adjusting is similar. It's not the same. It's basically where you go out, start your own business, and then you get contract jobs. TPAs, claims companies, carriers will send you jobs, inspections, however that works. It's a little bit different with every firm. Everywhere's a little bit different. And then you get to work for different companies. So you can work for one company, you can work for multiple companies, you can work for different carriers, all at the same time. You are a contractor. And so it's a way that they don't have to hire full-time staff, but you get to kind of pick and choose what you do in your career, in your life. Be business owner, business minded. You can pick your schedule. Obviously, they have certain expectations of you, right? You have to contact the insured at a certain amount of time. You have to inspect in a certain amount of time. But you get to really own your work in your company, and so it's incredible opportunity. The amount of money that you can make, you'll see in the forums, it's tons of money. It's a fantastic career. It is a ton of work. It's not for everybody. It's not financially guaranteed, right? The plus of working for a company is you get a paycheck every week. If you work as an independent adjuster, you get paid when you work claims. And so it's a little bit different than the traditional employment, but it's an incredible career for those who choose to go down that path, who it works for them. And so without further ado, let's get into it. 10 things that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent adjuster today. And if you're out there watching, listening, tuning in here today, thanks so much. I'd love to hear what you would recommend, what you would do. And if you have any tips or advice, if you were just starting out in the industry as a claims adjuster. So first thing I would do if I was starting my career as a claims adjuster today is I would save 3 to 6 months of income so I can live without having a paycheck for the first 3 to 6 months. This is so important, and it's oftentimes not talked about, but I think it's something that people need to hear. Is it is not guaranteed. A lot of times, especially when you're starting out, you are going to get your start as an independent when a large catastrophe happens. You're going to have to travel that catastrophe. You're going to have to pay for your housing. You're going to have to pay for your fuel. You're going to have to pay for your food while you're there. And that deployment in itself is not guaranteed. And so before you do any of this, you need to have a big piggy bank of savings so that way you can make it to that first deployment. If I'm starting out today, there is a chance, now I hope this doesn't happen, but there's a chance that I don't get deployed until a hurricane hits in September. Um, and so how do I get from now until September? You need to have some savings. You need to make sure that you're preparing yourself financially for not working for a minute. Uh, you can have part-time jobs, you can do work right now in the meantime, but it's at a certain point, you're going to have to kind of make that switch. And so having some savings to hold you over until that first deployment comes, but also to have money to get you to that deployment. If you got to go drive to Florida, if you got to get a hotel, if you got to go to California, if you got to go to Colorado for a hailstorm, wherever that might be, you're going to need some cash, some savings to get you there. That's the first thing I would do. Number two, the second thing I would do if I was starting my career as an independent insurance adjuster today is I would create a dedicated professional claims email. This is such a basic thing. I think a lot of people don't do, and it hurts long term. But it's something that I would definitely do right away. Is you want to separate your personal life from your professional life. You don't want you get your Venmo and your YouTube subscription and all this stuff in your claims email. That's dedicated for claims communication. That's dedicated for communication with different firms. That's dedicated for your claims related stuff. And so let's split these two up. Have your personal email and then have your claims email, joshfisherclaims@gmail.com. Boom, easy. And that way it looks professional, sounds professional, all your claims communications, then rock through there. Number three, the third thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent adjuster today is I would obtain a home state or designated home state license. This is step one, really, the process. You need to have a license. Now, it's just like a driver's license. If I have a driver's license, that does not mean I am a good driver. That does not mean I am a skilled driver. That does not mean I can go race on a racetrack and be good. All that means is I have the very basic necessity that I need to legally operate on the roadways in the United States. Same thing with your insurance adjuster's license. It does not mean you're a good adjuster. It doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. It just means that you've passed the basic test and have the ability to do the job legally in the U.S. So depending on where you live, it's going to depend. If you live in Texas, go get your Texas home state license. If you live in Florida, get your Florida home state license. If you live in a state like Colorado, who doesn't require a license to operate in, what you can do is get what's called a designated home state license. A lot of people get Texas, Florida, or Indiana, I think is another one that you can get a DHS. And what that's going to do is it's going to operate as your home state license, even though you don't need a home state license. When you go out to get other licenses, let's say there's a hurricane in North Carolina and you want to get that license, it's going to make it so you can get that license easier in a pinch. And so a lot of states have what they call reciprocity. And that means that you don't have to go in and take the test, and you don't have to go in and do all that initial work to get that license right away. You can just apply for it, pay your money, and rock. And so that's step number three. Get that designated home state license. Now we're starting to see some comments 15 minutes later. So again, sorry, y'all. Some technical difficulties. What up, James from Wisconsin? Hope you're staying warm. It's apparently very cold in Wisconsin, so hope you are staying warm. Again, it's 50 degrees and sunny here, so I don't know why everyone's complaining, but maybe you should all move out to Portland, Oregon. I don't know. Let's just pop over here. Sure. Checking out the comments over here. Cool. So we're going to keep rocking. Number 4, the fourth thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent insurance adjuster right now is I would invest in a reputable adjuster training program. So let's talk about it. Adjuster training. You do not need a college degree to do this job. You do not need a high level education to do this job. But what you do need is the skills and experience to be an adjuster. And so, how do you get that if it's not a college degree? You get that by investing in a reputable adjuster training program. There's all kinds of different training programs out there. There's tons of them out there. So, how do you choose which one? You're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to decide which one's best for you. What I would recommend and what I would do is think about 2 things. One, is there somewhere that I can do a hands-on program close to me? And then the second is, do I want to go with a firm or do I want to go with kind of an outside training program? Now, there's no right or wrong answer here. Again, the most important thing is that you learn how to do the job correctly so that you have the skills to go out and handle a claim when you get that first claim. But there's some different options that you might have. So one of the things people ask about is like, should I go get it with a firm directly or should I go do one of these outside training programs? And I would say it just kind of depends. One of the benefits I will say of getting it, like let's say you want to go and get, you live in Dallas and Eberl Claim Service, for example, has their training facility Caddy right there in Dallas. One of the positives of going to a training program with a firm is that you get to meet people at that firm. And so you get to meet some of the hiring managers. It's like an interview. And so you're getting the training, but they're also interviewing you and kind of checking you out to say, like, is this person doing well in training? Are they picking up the material? And they're sharing that with their teams. And so it can be a pretty awesome way to meet and kind of do that interview stuff with the firm. I would say absolutely a firm is more likely to hire you if you do their internal training program as opposed to if you don't. I'm not saying you can't get hired. I'm not saying you won't get hired, but I'm saying that you will have a little bit of an advantage if you go to Eberl or Pilot or Alacrity, one of these larger firms that has their own training programs. There's still going to be a cost involved, but it's a really great way to meet people and to network and to meet other adjusters. And so they're great programs. So I highly recommend it. And now there's other programs out there. I'm not saying that it's the only one. MOCAT is another highly reputable program in Missouri. Really good program. Let's see, we're having some more technical difficulties, but we are back. Let's see, it says we disconnected. Now we reconnected, but we're just going to keep going and pretend like nothing happened. Technical difficulties on a Tuesday. Welcome to it. That's the adjuster life. You know, what do we do when things go wrong? We adjust. We figure it out. We just keep rocking, and we are going to do that here on a Tuesday. So let's move on to the number 5 thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent claims adjuster here in 2026. The number 5 thing I would do is become proficient in Xactimate. And again, this is specific to property adjusters. Let's see if we reconnect. I think we've reconnected. But the number 5 thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent claims adjuster here in 2026 is I would become proficient in Xactimate. You are going to need to use Xactimate as a property adjuster, and it's one of those things that you can practice at home. You can't necessarily practice going out and doing a claim or policyholder interactions, but you can practice Xactimate. You can sketch your house, you can sketch your roof, you can sketch your living room, you can sketch your kitchen, you can sketch your bathroom, you can go to your friend's house, you can find a random house on Google and you can sketch that roof. You need to be expert level in Xactimate before you go to your first assignment. When you go to your first catastrophe assignment, everything out there is going to be completely brand new to you. And if you're also learning how to use Xactimate, you are not going to be on assignment for very long. So investing up front in some Xactimate training, get your Xactimate 1 through 3. I know you don't need Xactimate level 3. Get your Xactimate level 1 through 3. Why not? Do it. Try it out. Make it happen. It's a it's an easy thing, not easy, it's hard to do, but it's something that you can do in your free time to make yourself more marketable, and it's also important for you to do to actually do the job. So be proficient in Xactimate, become an expert in it, learn it, practice it once a week, twice a week, go in and practice sketching. It's only going to make you get more claims, close more claims quicker, and make more money on your first assignment. The number 6 thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent insurance adjuster today is I would invest in the tools that I need to do the job properly. Now, what tools are there? It all kind of depends, and that's something that your training program will talk to you about. But basic things like a ladder, a tape measure, a vehicle, but also, some of the more advanced tools, it may be smart to invest in right away. You may not need all these right away, but think about it and think about down the road what you might want to use. Things like like a like a DocuSketch camera, things like a drone. Again, you don't necessarily need a drone on your first day. Will it make you more marketable? Maybe. And so consider that. So think about the tools that you need. Think about first kind of the safety tools that you need, things that you're going to want to invest in. Absolutely a good ladder. Absolutely, if you're a field adjuster, you're going to want some cougar paws or really good footwear. You're going to want kind of like a bag, or like a lot of people will have like a tool belt with clipboards, pens, camera, that type of things. But think about your workflow. Think about the things that you're going to need. Think about tape measures. Invest in the tools that you need to do the job properly. And that also includes software tools that you might need. So, will it help you could you sketch the roof by hand? Absolutely. Can you invest, a couple bucks in a Sketch My Roof and have it done for you? So when you show up to the loss or an Eagle View, you already have the sketch of the roof. That's an awesome tool that you can use that will speed up your job. It might cost you a little bit on the front end, but it's going to make you more money on the back end. So think about all those tools that you might need. But yeah, you don't want to show up to your first assignment and unwrap the ladder. You want to make sure you're ready to rock. You've got everything you need. You've invested in the front end. You want to be successful. Number 7. The 7th thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent insurance adjuster today is I would network with other independent adjusters in your area. Go on LinkedIn, go to local claims events, go find other people that are doing the same job and talk to these people. One thing I know about claims adjusters is they love to talk to other claims adjusters about their experience. And I think anybody does, like any career ever, we love to talk about it. And especially when you're starting out, it's great to find these people who you can learn from and ask them to take you on a ride along. Ask them to, ask them questions. Try and build that kind of mentor relationship with somebody. So if you're out on assignment, you have questions. Another thing is, like, a lot of these people are busy. And so you meet some people and they know you and they start to learn, they trust you, they learn who you are, understand that you know what you're talking about and that you're serious about this career. When they're full up and they've got a firm calling them saying, hey, I got this claim, they say, I can't take it. They're going to say, oh, but call my friend Josh. He'll take that claim from you. I'll help him out on it too. And so it's a really great way to meet people locally. It's a really great way to connect with people. It's a really good way to kind of learn what's happening in your area, maybe who has contracts, what carriers are out there. But you're just getting an education from people that are doing the same job and making friends too. So it's better to have people on your side. I think people love kind of mentoring other people and teaching other people about this career. So really easy thing that you can do is just network with people locally. Number 8 thing that I would do if I was starting my career as an independent adjuster today is I would get on 50 rosters and I would learn the name of your recruiter's dog. So what the heck does this mean? First off, you want to apply to get on every single roster that you possibly can, because at the end of the day, it is a numbers game and you want to be on all these people's radar. You don't know who's going to have the first claim in your area. You don't know who's got the work. And so get on everybody's roster. It's easy. It's free. It just takes time. There's lists online. I don't need to give them to you. You can go out and find it. You can use AI to help you find it. But get on all the rosters. Big firms, small firms, mid-sized firms, TPAs, whatever. Go apply, get on the rosters, do all the free training that you can. And a lot of these companies have free training, whether it's State Farm certifications or different carrier certifications. Do all the free training that you possibly can. And then to take that step further, you need to learn the name of your recruiter's dog. Now, what does that mean? You actually need to learn the name of your recruiter's dog? No, you don't need to learn the name of your recruiter's dog. What I'm trying to get here is that it's a people business. And when you build actual relationships with the people that you potentially want to work with, you're going to have a better chance of getting assignments through those people. Those people are the gatekeepers for the work. And if you're calling in every day just saying, hey, I'm available, great, click. Hey, I'm available, great, click. You're not building a rapport. You're just kind of an annoyance phone call. So try to build a relationship. Try to learn about their life. Try to learn their dog's name. When you call them, ask them about how their dog's doing. Build an actual relationship with these people, because what happens is when the gates kind of flood open and the assignments are flowing, you want to be the first person they think about when they're like, oh, who do you got that you think is going to do a good job? Because what happens and here's my little recruiter secret, some inside info. This is what happens. When the assignments or claims are coming in, the claims managers are the ones that are ultimately deciding who they're sending claims to. A lot of times they're managing specific accounts, and it's their job to make sure the quality is high for those specific accounts, and they're going to first send the claims to the people that they know, the people who have worked with them before, and they know are going to do a good job. That's who they're sending claims to. And there's becomes a point where there's no more people for them to send claims to. They don't know anybody else. They've tapped out, and that's when they start going to the rosters, or they go out to people that they don't know, they haven't worked with, or they ask the recruiters like, hey, who do you have who's available who can take 20 claims in Texas this week for the freeze. And how do you get up on that list? Part of that is building relationships with the people who have the work. And so, yeah, building a positive relationship with someone that has the work, that knows that's a recruiter for those companies, is a really good way to kind of be up on that list. And number 9 kind of goes hand in hand with this. Number 9 thing that I would do if I was becoming an insurance adjuster today is post on LinkedIn every day. Now, again, do I have to post on LinkedIn every single day? Is that really the answer? It's kind of like an exaggeration, but LinkedIn is totally free. It's a free way to advertise your business, because you, as an independent adjuster, it's not a job, it's a business. You are a business owner. You're a small business owner, and this is marketing. And so one of the things that you're going to do to get jobs is you're going to reach out to recruiters. But the other thing that you can do is build a public-facing storefront online, totally free, to advertise your business. And one of the ways that you can do that is by posting on LinkedIn every day. And so you want to add quality posts. But you want to build yourself as a public authority with social proof that you know what you're doing, and that you're going to be a good adjuster, and that you're going to ultimately you're trying to build trust with recruiters and claims managers out there, that if they send you 20 claims tomorrow, that you're going to send them 20 claims back within their KPIs, maybe even quicker, do an excellent job, have amazing customer service, be a great estimator, understand what it takes, to do that inspection properly, to have good turnaround times, and ultimately do a good job and make them look good to their clients, their carriers. So one of the ways that you can advertise on your business is building a solid social media presence, building an online storefront for your business, and posting on LinkedIn every day about what you're doing to improve. Maybe you just got your Xactimate level 2, post that online. Just finished my Xactimate level 2. Here's 5 things I learned. Here's what I did this week to improve my education as an independent adjuster. Hey, this is the service area that I work. I'm available for catastrophe work. All these things you can post online, and it gives you visibility, and it builds social proof that you are a skilled adjuster that knows what they're doing, and companies out there should hire you. So LinkedIn's one of those ways. There's all kinds of other ways that you can do this online, but LinkedIn is totally free. It's extremely underutilized by independent adjusters. And what I will tell you is 99.999999% of claims recruiters are on LinkedIn. And so it's a easy way. Facebook forums too. Like I know a lot of recruiters are in the Facebook forums. A lot of us don't post a ton in the Facebook forums, but we're all in there. And so, building an online presence is a great way to get noticed. Posting in these forums, talking about topics that are important to people. Don't complain. Don't talk negatively about firms. Don't be mean to other adjusters, but talk positively about the industry. Answer other people's questions. Comment on other people's posts. It's a great way to get visibility into you and your business, and ultimately a way to help get you claims. And the 10th thing, the final thing that I would do today if I was starting an independent adjusting career in 2026 is I would join the Crew Talent Network. Shameless self-promotion, but here we are. Go online, crewtalentgroup.com, join the Crew Talent Network. It's how you get noticed by me and get hired by the companies that I'm working with, is join the Crew Talent Network. I work with independent insurance companies. I work with carriers. I work with TPAs to help hire people. And to get on my radar, how do you do that? Go online, totally free, super easy. Submit your resume. I'll send you a free resume resource if you'd like it. But yeah, join the Crew Talent Network. That's how you get noticed by me. And hopefully we can help find you some work here in 2026. So that's the 10 things that I would recommend if I was starting out as an insurance adjuster that I would personally do. Curious to hear some other thoughts. What would you do? What would be your advice to someone just starting out? Put it in the comments, put it in the chat. But without further ado, we will start kind of the main part of this podcast, the Claims Recruiter Office Hours, minus the chat today, as we're having some technical difficulties. So I can still see chat in the different windows on my screen over here. So if you're asking questions, I can still see that. So feel free to pop in. I'll call them out as I see them. It's not working on my screen for whatever reason. But we're still rocking. We're still rolling. Cool. So yeah, this is Claims Recruiter Office Hour. We got about 20 minutes left. So if you have questions about getting jobs in the insurance industry, leveling up your career, working as a claims adjuster, resume tips, interview, whatever you want, drop it in the chat. Otherwise, there's a link in the comments to fill out the form. You can do it totally anonymously if you don't want your boss to see. This is the road to 100. My goal in 2026 is to help 100 people find jobs in the insurance industry. This is Claims Recruiter Office Hour. Let's get to it. Got a couple questions that came in over the week to the Google form. So we'll start there. If there's nothing here in the chat, let's rock. Okay, first question this week. I was recently offered my first assignment, a freeze claim in my area. The firm offered me 55% of the fee schedule. They said it's because I'm new. This seems really low. I ended up taking the claim, but wondering if I should have negotiated a higher percent. So for those of you who this seems like a foreign language, independent adjusters, a lot of times the way that independent adjusters work is they get a cut of the fee schedules. The fee schedule is the amount of money that the firm, TPA, claims company has negotiated with their client per claims. So for the most part, there's two ways that companies do this. The first way is fee schedule. The second way is T&E, time and expense. But a lot of like first party, residential homeowners claims, the firms get a specific dollar amount dependent on the amount of money that the claim is worth. So if it's a $40,000 loss and the carrier's paying out 40 grand, there'll be kind of a line item that says, okay, this is how much money the firm gets paid. And then as an adjuster, as a contractor, the firms will pay you a percentage of that. I've seen percentages anywhere from 40 to 75, 80% even sometimes. So it all kind of depends on the firm, how much split they're going to offer you. I would say kind of the standard for adjusters is anywhere between 60 and 70%. I would say 60% is kind of an industry standard that I see quite a bit. So 55% for your first claim. Should you take it or not? Should you negotiate? This might be unpopular, but I would say as a new adjuster, you should take any claim that you can get for the learning experience. It's not the time to negotiate on your first claim. Sometimes firms will offer you the standard percent. Sometimes they'll offer you a little bit less because they know that they're going to have to do an additional work training you. They might be offering you less just because you're new. I have no idea exactly why. But what I will say is if you have 0 claims at 70%, that more or less than 1 claim at 55%. And so, yeah, it might be unpopular. I don't know. I'd love to hear other people's opinions in the chat, what you would do in this situation. But I would say if you're a new adjuster, you should not be turning down work for whatever reason. Unless like you have to drive to, 40 hours for 1 claim, then, you got to make sure that works for you. But if it's like a local claim in your area and they're offering you 55% to go work this claim, treat that as a learning experience. Take the claim, go work with them, try and build a relationship with that firm, and try and get more claims. And maybe once they realize that you're rocking and rolling and you're good, and they don't need to have QA spend 40 hours on every single one of your claims, they'll up the percent. And so when you're brand new, I see this all the time. You have a brand new person, you're like, hey, I have an assignment. And they're like, oh, I want 70. I've read on Facebook that people got 70%. I want this. And a lot of times as a recruiter, like it's set. That's what it is. I got no negotiating power here. And it kind of makes you look bad. Because if you don't really know what you're talking about and you're trying to negotiate, and I got a list of 25 other people that will take that claim, I'm just going to move on to the next person. So you can ask questions about it. I think when it's your first claim ever, take the claim, figure out the money stuff later. You're trying to get experience. Your main goal is to get experience. A lot of times people on their first even CAT deployment won't make a whole lot of money. It sometimes might cost them at the end of the day. They might drive out, take 10 claims, drive back home, break even. Experience is so valuable when you're first starting out, getting that first claim, being that first deployment, that I would not pass it up because you don't like the percentage. Now, it's important to look at the fee schedule. It's important to understand what 55% is, what that actually equates to in dollar amounts. Are you getting drive? Are you getting mileage? Are you driving 2 hours for free and it's $160 flat fee and you're getting 55% of that? Well, that changes things a little bit, but you have to look at the big picture, but also understand that it's training for you. And so treat it as a learning experience at first. And then once you get some claims under your belt and you kind of understand how the game works, then you can look to negotiate maybe a little bit more. But if it's your first claim, take that thing, do an awesome job, try and build a relationship, and try and get 10 more. Okay. Again, this is the Claims Recruiter office hours. If you got questions, drop in the chat below. Feel free to pop open that Google form link that's in the comments. Ask questions anonymously there, and let's keep rocking. So what else we got? Let's see here. Question number 2. What do you think about inspection-only claims for a new adjuster? Again, this might be unpopular in the adjuster community, but I'm going to say it. I think you should take them. Why not? Why is it going to hurt to go out and do an inspection only? If you have a company that's offering you a job and you're brand new and you're not making money yet, go take it. Try it out. Get some experience. Do the work. See what it's like. Do you have to take these forever? Do you have to work these types of companies forever? Not necessarily, but why not go try it out? See what you think. I know that you go in the forums and they're going to say all kinds of crazy things about Seek Now, the Hancocks, those types of companies. But I think it's a really great entry path for new adjusters. And it's a way that you can kind of get your feet wet doing inspections. A lot of these, it's a good training opportunity for you to kind of learn. It's very structured. And so I think it's a great way for brand new adjusters to get their feet wet, to kind of learn the industry, to go out and do some claims. Do you have to take these forever? No. Maybe it's not your goal and long term to do these types of claims, but it's a great way to kind of introduce you to the industry. Is the pay a little bit lower than traditional claims handling? Absolutely, but it's a great way to do it, and it doesn't take as long. It's not necessarily as much work. You can go out and do these inspections. You can knock out a bunch in one day. You can make some money, get some income going. So yeah, I think that's a great way for new adjusters to learn the industry, to kind of get your feet wet, get a couple claims, get some income, try them out. You don't always have to take them. You can do 2 and never do any more again, but why not take 1? Why not take a couple? Why not see what it's like? Figure it out for yourself. Make that decision. Try it out. Boom. Just rocking. We're rocking and rolling. Another question that came in through the Google forum this week: should I invest in a drone? I would love to hear some other opinions on this. Right away, would I invest in a drone? Probably not. But again, it's a good way to maybe get some more work. Like Eberl Claim Service, I know has a pretty robust drone program, and so you don't necessarily need years of experience to go out and do a drone inspection with a company like Eberl's, and so it may be a way for you to get some work when you're first starting out, and it also might be a way to kind of differentiate yourself between um, some of the other people that are trying to fight for the same jobs that you are. So, should you invest in drama? I think it depends on your personal goals, your personal financial situation, what you're wanting to do. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's expensive, right? And so that's what you got to kind of decide for yourself: is it worth spending this money up front to get this? Is it going to get me more jobs? Maybe, maybe not. You kind of have to take that gamble sometimes. But you invest in a drone, it kind of just depends. I'd love to hear some other opinions out there. If anybody's gotten work from drones, if people get drone assignments, are you using drones on your assignments? You hear a lot about it, especially on like large commercial claims. You have a big church, and you can't necessarily go up and inspect the very top without getting all kinds of other people involved, and it's a really easy way to go and do a little bit more thorough of an inspection without getting a cherry picker, like a or paying more to have someone else come out. So we got Jazzy in the chat. What up? Good to see you. Great info, Josh. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Let's get Chazzy some work. She's a new adjuster out of, if I remember this right, Georgia, Tifton area. Any IA firms out there looking for an adjuster in Tifton, Georgia, hit up Chazzy. She is MoCat graduate, ready to rock, eager to work some claims, has an awesome mindset, ready to go. Any firm managers out there, recruiters, IA companies, TPAs, looking for someone in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. There's not a whole lot of adjusters out there. Let's find Chazzy some work. She's available for deployments, daily work. Let's get her deployed. Anybody out there? Let's go. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Keep popping some of these questions. Got 10 minutes till the top of the hour. Is it possible to keep my part-time job while I transition to an IA work? I want to start with daily claims in my area before doing catastrophe work. This is a question I get all the time. Glad you asked it, whoever this was. I think this just kind of depends on your specific situation. What I will say is I hear this quite often where people say, I want to start slow, get a couple of claims as a daily adjuster in my area, get good at it, and then go do cat work. And while that sounds like a really great way to start, it's just not how it happens. And so it can happen. I've seen it work. Part of it depends on where you live. Like if you're like Chazzy and you live in Georgia in the kind of the middle of nowhere, there's not a whole lot of claims adjusters in your area, you might be able to get daily work because just the lack of people. Someone has a claim near you and they can send you that claim. If you live in Dallas, Texas, the chances of this happening are very slim. There's so many adjusters out there, so many experienced adjusters that their names are higher up kind of on that proverbial list than you. And so it might be harder. So it depends on where you live geographically and kind of the individual market that you live in. I would say that catastrophe work is probably the best place that people kind of get started because of the need for people. And they also have a little bit more training in some of these catastrophe situations. And so while it would probably be financially easier for people to get started by doing daily work first, the chances of you getting daily work before a CAT assignment are typically lower, especially if you live in some of these big metropolitan areas like Atlanta or Dallas or Florida, where there's lots of adjusters around you. So it's hard. And this is kind of the catch-22 of the industry, and it's really difficult to get started. It's like, when do you quit your job? If I've got jobs, if I have kind of part-time jobs, And so everybody's situation is just going to be a little bit different. I'd say kind of hold on to those jobs as long as you can, but there's going to be a time when you're going to have to tell them, hey, I'm focusing on this new career. And it might not go exactly the way that you think it's going to go. I've seen it happen where someone's got an awesome job, they want to switch to this new career, they quit their job, they drive to Alabama, they go to Birmingham for orientation, and they get sent home on day 2. And now they left their city with an awesome job, and now they're going back home with no job. And so I've seen it happen. So you have to kind of be prepared for that type of thing to happen. There's going to be a time where you're going to need to leave your job and kind of focus on this as your new career. And I can't give you necessarily like a definitive time of when that decision is going to make sense for you. And so all I can do is kind of give you the facts around it, and you gotta have to make the best decision for yourself. So it's hard. It's hard. That kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. You gotta try and get 3 to 6 months of income kind of saved up, so when you do make the jump, you can survive for a bit without a paycheck. So yeah, I mean, if you got a part-time job right now, don't quit yet. It's a little time probably before lots of the big hail season, wind season kind of pops up. Typically we tend to get busier in April, and then a lot of people get their first shot in large hurricane situations. So just kind of depends on the year. Last year, that big shot didn't come from a lot of people, unfortunately. It was a slow year in claims. Good for carriers, good for policyholders. But if you're in the claims industry, we rely on these claims to come in for work. And so yeah, it all kind of depends. There's no right or wrong answer. You just kind of have to make the most educated decision for yourself. We'll keep on rolling here. See, I think that was the end of questions. Check here. If you got questions for a claims recruiter, I'm here. Drop them in the chat. You can fill out the Google form in the comments section, or we'll move to Facebook, Reddit, wherever I found questions from this morning. Reddit. This is from Delicious Zombie 9533. Winter storm deployment. I've been getting texts and emails from various firms asking to be on standby for the upcoming winter storm. I only work property besides a few roofs collapse and water pipes. What kinds of claims are we looking at? Has anyone ever been on a deployment for a winter storm like this? What was it like? Great question, Delicious Zombie 9533. A couple things here. First off, to answer your question, what types of claims are you going to see from a storm like this? If you get deployed, chances are you're going to see water bursts, frozen pipes, really cold in places like Texas, Florida, not used to having cold weather. Their pipes, their infrastructure, not necessarily used to that cold weather. People's pipes burst all the time. What does that do? It creates water damage in their homes, and it goes everywhere. Burst pipes, water, not good for homeowners, and that creates lots of insurance claims. Not as many roof collapses. You don't see a whole lot of roof collapses. Think about the last time you were out and about and saw someone's roof collapse due to weight of snow. It doesn't happen a whole lot. A lot of our infrastructure can handle it. And so you don't see like roof collapses. You see some in the Northeast, you see some like ice damming on the roofs. And that creates roof issues, leaks. And a lot of that's kind of a slow trickle. It doesn't happen right away. But a big winter storm like Winter Storm Firm, where you get freezing weather in Florida, I think we can think back on the winter freeze in Texas a few years back. That was the largest insurance event for insurance carriers in history. More dollars went out to claim payouts of that Texas freeze than any other storm, even Hurricane Katrina. And so that's the type of work you see is frozen pipes in areas that aren't used to it. A lot of times power goes out, pipes freeze. People can't heat their homes because the power went out for 3 days and their pipes start to freeze. It creates all kinds of bad, nasty stuff. So those are the types of claims you're going to see. Now, I want to address this first part. I've been getting texts and emails from various firms asking me to be on standby for the upcoming winter storm. What is standby? I've been a recruiter. I have put people on standby. I will say, hand up, I hate the term standby. What does the term standby mean? What does it mean when you get a text from a firm saying, we would like to put you on standby for upcoming firm? They're trying to get you to commit to working for them, but they don't really have claims yet. And so they're putting everybody on standby. And it's a way that they kind of like build momentum around them, like, hey, we're going to get claims, we're going to get assignments. It's going to be their first call list. So absolutely get on those standby lists. But what does that mean in terms of you getting deployed? Really not a whole lot. It just means like, hey, they're kind of gearing out who it's almost like they're saying, hey, are you available if we get work? It's not saying we're going to deploy you or you're going to be the first one to go or anything like that. It's just saying, hey, big winter storm happening. We're trying to get our ducks in a row to see who we can call if something happens. You say yes to that, you're going to put you in a bucket somewhere, or a filing cabinet. And then once the assignments start coming in, that's going to be where they're going to look to deploy people. So get on all those standby lists. You might get on 15 standby lists. They're not like exclusive to you. You're not exclusive to them at this point. They're just kind of seeing what's out there. So it's kind of like a game. Everybody kind of plays it. I don't like the terminology because I think it implies that they're going to give you claims. That doesn't really necessarily mean that. It's more of just a text or an email or a phone call saying, hey, are you available if we are to get claims? You might say yes, and then another firm might call you and say, hey, I've got 20 claims. Take those 20 claims. So that's what standby is. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Everyone kind of plays this game, cat and mouse. Get on all the standby lists you can. If someone's asking you to be on standby and you're ready to go, get on that standby list. Let's see. One more here from Facebook, I believe. Are there any affordable or free classes to become an adjuster? Anonymous participant. This one of the Facebook chats. What I would say here, without knowing a whole lot more details, I would say if this is your question, I would be looking at a staff trainee position, right? To be an independent adjuster is going to be expensive. It's going to cost you money to get training. It's going to cost you money to get started up. It's gonna take time, energy, and effort. And if you don't have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up, it may not be the career for you at this time. Not to say it will never be the career for you, but one of the ways that you can do this job, be a claims adjuster without kind of going out like that, is getting a staff job. And especially trainee positions are a great way for you to go work for a large insurance carrier with a reputable training program without having large expenses just starting up. So what I would recommend if you're asking this question is to look into staff trainee positions. And you can do this at carriers, you can do this at mutual companies, sometimes TPAs. I was just talking to someone who got an interview at Gallagher Bassett for an adjuster trainee position. So that's another way you can look at. You don't just have to look at the carriers. There's other companies that you can look at too. But the pay is going to be less. But you got to look at it as like they're paying to train you. They're paying you money to teach you how to do this so that someday, 3 months on the line, that you will be an insurance adjuster. And that training is absolutely worth something to you. And it's a really, really great way to get in the industry. And maybe you take that job and do that job for 2-3 years, get that experience, and then you want to jump over to becoming independent, or maybe you want to stay as a carrier adjuster, a staff adjuster forever. It's just another way that you can join the industry. There's no perfect path for people. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. They're all great. It just kind of depends on you and your situation and what your goals are. And so, yeah, check out staff trainee positions. Look at the big firms, the ones you see on the commercials, but don't sleep on the small guys too. Don't sleep on the small mutual companies. Don't sleep on the small TPAs, the regional IA firms too. Also really great places to work. But yeah, it's all about your goals, what you're looking for. So cool. Well, that's Claims Recruiter office hours today. Got through some technology glitches. We did it. We made it. Next week, I'll make sure to get this going. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out. Not too worried. If you tuned in today, thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you. You're the best. Next week, we've got Claims Recruiter office hours. Two incredible things about next Tuesday. One, it is the day after Groundhog Day, which is like one of my favorite days of the year. February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Shout out Phil. We're going to see our shadow. We're going to go back into our hole and we are going to send that snow to Mount Hood so Josh can go skiing for 6 more weeks. Please give us some snow. Second awesome thing is it's my birthday. So I'll be here. The Road 100 doesn't just stop because it's my birthday, February 3rd. So I hope you join me next week for my birthday stream. What do I want for my birthday? I want to help 100 people find their next job in the insurance industry. That's the Road 100. So you're still with us. You've made it this far. Thanks so much for joining. Hope to see you next week on my birthday stream, February 3rd. Peace, y'all.